Hello? Narinig niyo na ako?
Opo, sir. Sir,
Okay.
medyo malakas lang po yung sa electric fan po.
Electric fan? Wala naman ako. Wait lang ah.
Parang garal-gal po ganun.
Okay, meron pa ba?
Ano po, sir? Okay na po.
Okay. So
Thank
let's
you po.
continue. Okay, so let's continue. Risk and uncertainties. So estimates take into account risk and uncertainties. Estimates may be increased by a risk adjustment factor. Provide an allowance for imprecision inherent in estimates. So this, however, does not mean that an entity can make excessive provisions or can deliberately overstate liabilities. So risk adjustment factors, actually this is only an estimate uh, on top of estimate. Okay? So this is to account for the changes ng mga possible outcomes. So this is usually an additional rate uh, added or deducted on the actual amount. So it depends on how you apply this risk adjustment factor. Okay, so mamaya may example siguro to. Okay, tingnan natin. Okay, present value. If the effect of time value of money is material, the estimate of this out of the provision is discounted to its present value. Again, so if we have a provision that should be paid 10 years or 5 to 10 years, siguro kailangan na natin siyang i-discount. So, it usually involves yung decommissioning cost, usually sa mga mining companies. Nagsiset up sila nito, provision for decommissioning cost, which is discounted at its discounted rate based on current discount rate at that time. Okay? So this is usually the case for provisions of ito pala, restoration and decommissioning costs, where cash outflows occur only after a relatively long period of time from the date of initial recognition. So let's see an example. So illustration one, a manufacturer gives warranties at the time of sale to purchases of its product. Under the terms of the contract of sale, the manufacturer undertakes to make good by repair or replacement manufacturing defects that became apparent within 1 year from the date of sale. Okay, so from 1 year from the date of sale, magkakaroon sila ng repair and replacement. Okay, so on the basis of experience, it is probable that there will be some claims under the warranties. So the sales for the year is 10 million and were made evenly throughout the year 2021. So whenever we say evenly, it is equal. So meaning 5 million for the first 6 months and 5 million for the next 6 months. Okay. So at December 31, 2021, the expenditures for warranty repairs and replacements for the product sold is in 2021 are expected to be made 50% in 2021 and 50% in 2022. Assume the simplicity that all the 2022 outflows of economic benefits are related to the warranty repairs and replacement takes place on June 30, 2022. Okay, let's continue. So experience indicates that 95% of products sold require no warranty repairs. So meaning, do sa 95%, wala tayong re-recognize doon. 3% of the product sold require minor repairs, costing 10% of sale price, and 2% of products sold require major repairs or replacement, costing 90% of sale price. So the entity has no reason to believe future warranty claims will be different from its experience. So, in this statement, ina-expect niya na ito pa rin yung probably na may incur niya na cost in relation dun sa warranty repairs. Okay, so at December 31, 2021, the appropriate discount factor for cash flows expected to occur on June 30, 2022 is this factor. Okay? So furthermore, an appropriate risk adjustment factor to reflect the uncertainties in the cash flow estimate is an increment of 6%. So on top, this is actually on top nung amount na mako-compute natin using present value method. Okay? 6% to the probability weighted expected cash flows. So requirement is to compute the warranty provision. Okay, so as per our analysis, meron naman. So let's proceed on computation of provision. So minor repairs, so that is 3%. This is the probability of 10 million sale having a repair, so that is 3%. Multiply by the cost that the company will incur. Nakalagay naman dito yung 10%. Ito, 10% of cost. So you have 30,000. And for major repairs, 90% of cost at 2% of the sale for 2021. So ito yung total niya, 210,000. And therefore, multiply natin sa present value factor, which is given. So we have 200,000. And risk adjustment factor. So, ito siya. Saan na yan? Wala. Sorry, nandito pala. Okay, so an increment of 6%. So there is a increase in the estimate that we need to consider, which is ito nga, yung 106%. So multiply ba lang natin siya, then we have 212,000. So the warranty provision for December 2021 is 106,000. Bakit natin dinivide by and na-multiply sa 50%? Again, yung amount na masasettle sa 2022 is yung part na naging sale niya nung second half nung quarter. Second half nung year, which is stated naman dito. Sales of 10 million were made evenly throughout the year. And for simplicity, all the 2022 outflows of economic benefits are related to the warranty repairs and replacements that take place on June 30, 2022. So that's why for 2021, ito lang yung kailangan natin i-record as provision because 50% is made on the first half of 2021. Okay? Okay. Yun lang naman. Okay. Question. Okay, so if wala, let us continue present value. So next example is an entity is the defendant in a patent infringement lawsuit. So the entity's lawyer believes there is a 30% chance that the court will dismiss the case and the entity will incur no outflow of economic resource. So that there is a 30% chance, but there is a 70% chance that the company will incur outflow. Remember, itong 30% is no outflow. However, if the court rules in favor of the claimant, the lawyer believes that there is a 20% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 200,000. So that is the amount sought by the claimant. So ito yung amount na nire-require ng claimant, yung 200,000. Yan yung hinihingi niya kay company. So and an 80% chance that the entity will be required to pay damages of 100,000. So yun yung estimate niya. Okay? If the entity has to pay, there is a chance that the entity will pay 20%, which is the amount claimed by the claimant, and 80% chance that the entity will require to pay damages of 100,000, which is the amount that was recently awarded by the same judge in a similar case. So this is based on experience, on history. Okay? Other outcomes are unlikely. So the court is expected to rule in late December 2022. There is no indication that the claimant will settle out of court. So remember, there is a 70% chance that the court will dismiss the case. No, there's a 70% chance that the court will require the company to pay to the claimant. So in that case, no, di ba pala? A 7% reduced risk adjustment factor to the probability weighted expected cash flow is considered appropriate to reflect the uncertainties in the cash flow estimates. Okay. So, kumpitin lang natin. So, multiply natin yung estimates niya, which is using the best estimate. Ito yung magiging provision natin. At the time, it will be settled. But since it is not yet within the year, and it is just considered expected to be settled by December 2022, which is 1 year away. So we have to discount it at 10% for 1 year. So ito yung present value factor. Ito yung total niya after the uh, multiplication after i-multiply dun sa present value factor. And then, i-add mo yung risk adjustment factor and then, i-multiply mo siya dun sa probability na magbabayad si company. So, that is 100 minus 30%. So, for 2021, ito yung expected na provision na i-recognize natin. Okay? So, risk adjustment factor is, ito yung hindi na-deduct. And sometime, ina-add, but sometime, hindi na-deduct. It depends. So, ito yung makikita natin na plus minus 7%, ganon, to reflect the risk adjustment factor, yung mga ganon sa survey. Usually, ganon yun eh. Margin of error, minsan kung tawagin, ganon. Okay. Question. Okay. If wala, tuloy tayo. Illustration 2.2, present value. The facts are the same as in the immediate preceding illustration. So, same lang daw yung facts dito. However, in this question, because of extremely rare circumstances, disclosure of some of the information about a case required by PAS 37 can be expected to prejudice seriously the position of the entity in the dispute over the alleged breach of patent. So, requirement, how should the entity account for the transaction described in the preceding illustration? So, the answer is to recognize a provision, measure that the amount determined in the preceding illustration, and disclose the general nature of the dispute, together with the fact and the reason why the information has not been disclosed. So, ang sinasabi dito, what if yung pag-disclose mo or pag-recognize mo ng amount can seriously prejudice o makaka-apekto siya dun sa kaso over dun sa dispute with claimant. So, ito yung sagot ni PAS 37 dyan. So, pwede mo siyang i-recognize yung provision. Pwede ka mag-recognize ng provision based doon sa amount determined in the preceding illustration. Same way kung paano natin siya kinompute. And disclose the general nature. You don't have to be specific. General nature na lang. Okay, so let's say this is due to patent infringement. Nga ba? Patent infringement nga ba? Yes, patent infringement lawsuit. And together with the fact that and the reason why the information has not been disclosed. So, pwede mo siyang ilagay as due to patent infringement. And since ang kaso ay still nasa korte, alam niyo naman na hindi ka pwede magbigay ng facts if the case is still ongoing. usually in public. Kung maaalala nyo tong si ano, share ko lang sino ba tong asawa ni Bong? Kalimutan ko. So, nagbigay siya ng facts about to sa kaso kay Corneo. So, pati siya pinapakontempt ko na kung nabalitaan nyo lang naman. So, hindi ka pwede kasi magbigay ng facts sa isang kaso if the case is ongoing, still in hearing or in trial. Okay. No questions? Okay, if none, then let's proceed. Illustration 2.3, present value. The facts are the same as in the previous illustration. However, in this question, the entity's lawyer believed there is a 60% chance that the court will dismiss the case and the entity will incur no outflow. So meaning, yung probability na magbayad si entity is only 40%. So in that case, there is no probable outflow. Dapat nandito yun. Ito, tama. So no probable outflow, it is only possible. So therefore, no provision should be recorded. Okay? Question. Okay, if wala, let us continue. Sorry. Future events. Future events may affect the amount needed to settle an obligation. However, future events are considered in estimating a provision only if there is objective evidence that supports their anticipation. For example, the penalty for environmental damage may be affected by legislation if a new law that will increase the amount of penalty is expected to be enacted. That new law is anticipated only when it is virtually certain that it will be enacted. Otherwise, it would not be appropriate to anticipate it. Okay, so for future events, estimation of provision, as sabi nga natin, since given na rin yung legislation dito, if there is no okay, if a new law that will increase, so in this case, there is no way na mababago ni, let's say, walang way na mababago ni entity yung process niya. So that's the way it is. Ganun na lang yung process niya. So, if there is a law that will increase the penalty expected because of the new law being enacted, then they have to create an anticipation, especially in increase in provision, if the law being enacted is virtually certain to pass. Okay? So kung virtually certain na may enact talaga yung law na mag-i-increase to sa penalty nila, then therefore they can increase yung provision nila for penalties if hindi talaga nila pwede mabago yung process nila like we have discussed previously. But if pwede naman nilang baguhin, there is no point para mag-record ka ng provision. Okay? Question. Okay, wala. Let's continue. Expected disposal of assets. So, gain from expected disposal of assets are not taken into account when measuring a provision. So, gains are only separately, are recognized separately when disposals occur. So, again, gains on disposals are recognized on P&L, di ba? Profit and loss. So, before i-recognize to, the transaction should have been happened already. Dapat nabenta mo na yung asset before ka mag-recognize ng gain. Because the amount on that gain will go directly to P&L. So we are not welcoming estimates sa P&L. Usually, ang pasok niyan sa OCI dapat, which is not the case. So, this is a big no. Next is reimbursements. So if another party is expected to reimburse the settlement amount of a provision, a reimbursement asset is recognized if it is virtually certain. Again, virtually certain. Okay? So, yun lang yung kailangan yung kuhanin as Q. If you are recording a contingent asset, okay, usually ito, ano kasi ito contingent asset to. Itong reimbursements na to from other entities. So, dapat virtually certain mo siya i-consider. Okay, so if it is probable, then just ignore it. Disclosure lang yan. However, in the statement of comprehensive income, the expense related to the provision may be presented net of reimbursement. The amount recognized for the reimbursement should not exceed the amount of the provision. Okay? So, ang sabi dito, kung magkano lang yung i-record mo as provision, then the reimbursement should only be up to that amount. Okay? So, an example of an instance where a reimbursement asset may be recognized is when the obligating event that caused the recognition of a provision is insured. So, the reimbursement asset would be the amount that the entity can claim from the insurance company. So, like to say example natin kanina, since it is already approved by the insurer, then you have to record yung contingent asset natin. Okay? Question? Huwag niyo pa lang kakalimutan to, ha? The amount recognized for the reimbursement should not exceed the amount of the provision. So what if mas mataas yung reimbursement na matatanggap mo over dun sa provision mo? Should you recognize gain on reversal of provision? Ganun ba? Hindi siya ganun. So kung mas mataas yung reimbursement mo over dun sa provision mo, ang una mong gagawin is to revise the provision based dun sa actual amount that is expected to be reimbursed so that mag-match siya. Okay? Kasi hindi ka pwede mag-recognize ng gain on a settlement of provision. Okay? Loss, yes, loss. Pwede ka magdagdag ng loss. Siguro, pwede. But gain, it will go to P&L kasi. So, hindi. Okay? Question. Okay? Ano bang question? Bago tayo mag-proceed sa reimbursements. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay, reimbursements. So, ito na yung mga example. So, I guess, isa-isahin na lang ninyo yan. Okay, so deductible clause. On January 1, 2022, an explosion occurred at ABC's company's plant, causing extensive property damage to area buildings. Although no claims had yet been asserted against as of March 10, 2022, ABC's management and council concluded that it is likely that claims will be asserted and that it is probable that ABC will be held responsible for damages. So ABC's 5 million comprehensive offer. Okay, sorry about that. Game. Let's continue. Okay, so ABC's 5 million comprehensive public liability policy has 250,000 deductible clause. So ABC estimates an outflow equal to its net liability on the comprehensive public liability policy. ABC's financial statements were authorized for issue on March 30, 2022. How should the event above be reported in ABC's December 31, 2021 FS? So as a note, answer, ito yung sagot disclosure only, indicating the probable loss of 250,000, which is the extent of the liability under the comprehensive insurance policy. No provision is recognized because there is no present obligation. Again, wala pa naman dito yung obligating event, so we don't need to record any uh, provision. Okay, illustration number 2, deductible clause. On December 31, 2021, explosion occurred on ABC's company plant, causing extensive property damage. So, meron na tayong obligating event. Okay, so how much should be the provision? It should be 250,000. Okay. So, next is changes in provision. So, provisions are reviewed at the end of each reporting period and adjusted to reflect the current best estimate. So, ito yung mga revisions na ginagawa natin sa provision, usually at the end of the reporting period. Okay? So, changes in provision are accounted for prospectively. So, you cannot change anything na ni-record mo from the previous year in provision. Only thing that you can do is to revise it prospectively. Okay? By accruing additional amount or by reversing a previously recognized amount. So, as per our example kanina with reimbursements, so if mas malaki yung reimbursement na matatanggap mo over dun sa na-record mo as provision, then you had to revise yung provision nyo. No gain would be recognized. Okay? So, use of provisions. A provision is used only for expenditure it was originally intended for. So, charging expenditures against a provision that is intended for another purpose is inappropriate as it would conceal the impact of two events. Okay. So, let's have an example for the provision. Okay, so on 2021, ABC Company recognized provision for a probable loss on pending lawsuit. So, ito yung record niya. Ito yung first entry. So, second entry, the lawsuit remains unsettled in 2021, necessitating a reassessment in provision. So, 700,000 na siya. So, kailangan mo lang siyang increase by 200,000. Okay? So, the lawsuit was settled for 850 in 2023. So, the entry to record the settlement is okay. So, hindi mo na siya idadagdag as provision kasi ito na yung final settlement amount. So, you have to record loss on lawsuit directly to PNL as well. Okay. Number 2, the lawsuit was settled on 600,000 on 2023. So, the entry to record the settlement is credit 700 to close yung provision amount natin. Credit cash amounting to 600, which is the actual settlement amount. And gain on settlement of provision, 100,000. So, huwag kayong malilito dito Kasi as we have mentioned earlier, sabi natin, hindi tayo magre-record ng, saan ba yan? Hindi tayo magre-record ng gains sa reimbursements. Okay, so for reimbursements, there should be no gain. Pero for settlement, kung ikaw yung magbabayad, then you can therefore consider it as a gain. Kasi this amount is recorded, saan ba yan? Ito. This amount of 700,000 is recorded in previous years profit and loss statement. So, therefore, it is also proper na i-recognize yung gain or any difference in favor of the company regarding the settlement on PNL as well. Okay? Assumption number 3, estimated liability on pending lawsuit and gain on reversal of provision. So this is example of settlement na 100% wala kang binayaran. Okay? That was actually not settlement, a ruling from court na wala kang babayaran. So the whole amount of the provision will be reversed to gain on reversal of provision. Okay, so notice that the changes in provisions are treated as change in accounting estimates and accounted for prospectively. So financial statements in prior years are not restated for the previously recognized revision. Okay, so if you say prospectively, then there is no need for restatements. Okay, but whenever we say retrospectively, then it requires restatement. Okay, so tatlong financial statements yung kailangan natin i-restate if there is a change retrospectively. Okay, question regarding sa estimates natin. Ito ba yun? Mhm. Okay, walang question. Okay, so application of recognition and measurement rules. So future operating losses, again, as we have mentioned previously, no provision is recognized for future operating losses. Sorry, ang tinutukoy pala natin kanina is future operating costs. Okay? So, hindi natin siya nare-recognize. Same with future operating losses. Okay? They do not meet the definition of liability, which is arising from past events. Same with operating cost. Di pa naman na-incur yung cost. So, uh, hindi natin kailangan mag-recognize ng provision for that. Okay? The expectation of future operating losses may indicate that certain assets may be impaired. Those assets are tested for impairment under PAS 36 impairment losses. Okay? Next is onerous contract. So the provision recognized from an onerous contract reflects the least net cost of exiting from the contract, which is the lower of cost of fulfilling it and any compensation or penalties arising from failure to fulfill it. So onerous contracts. So these are the contracts na you have to settle uh, more o compare dun sa marireceive mo in return. Okay, so those are usually the examples of onerous contract. So for this onerous contract, you have to test daw kung ano yung lower of cost of fulfilling it and compensations or penalties arising from failure to fulfill it. Okay, so ang best example nito is I think yung sa decommissioning. So yun yung best example niya, sa the decommissioning. So what is the amount of fulfilling the contract of decommissioning and what are the penalties and compensation that should be paid had the company fail to fulfill it. Okay? So since kung mabait naman yung company, so why consider this one, di ba? So usually mining companies resort to this instead of this. Okay? Kasi after dito, hindi lang naman dyan natatapos yan. May mga administrative na cases ka pang haharapin if ever di mo magawa yun. So, ito yung pinaka hindi masakit sa ulo. So, ito yung ginagawa nila. Okay, so illustration 1, onerous contract, purchase commitment. So, on January 1, 2021, ABC Company signed a 3-year non-cancelable purchase contract which allows ABC Company to purchase up to 60,000 units of microchip annually from XYZ Company. So, a 25 per unit and guarantees a minimum annual purchase of 15,000. At year end, it was found out that goods are obsolete. So, they have gone out of use. Wala na siyang practical use. ABC had 10,000 units of inventory at December 31, 2021, and believes these parts can be sold as scrap for 5 per unit. Okay, so the loss on purchase commitment is computed as follow. Okay, so yung guaranteed minimum annual purchase under purchase commitments, under purchase contract, multiplied by remaining years covered by the contract, which is 2 years. Nasaan ba yan? So this is 3 year on January 1, but on December 31, they believe this is already scrap. So 1 year lapse, so ibig sabihin naka-order na sila ng first 15,000. Okay? So total goods to be accepted in the future is 30,000 and multiply by the price less the salvage unit, which is 20 pesos. So ito yung purchase price niya from XYZ, and ito yung amount na pwede mo ma-recover through selling as scrap. So this is the amount that you have to recognize as loss on purchase commitment. Okay, so if you can see, this loss on purchase commitment will be only applicable this year and next year. So, itong purchase on loss commitment na to, pwede mo pa siyang i-discount. Okay? Kasi may 2 years pa eh. But for simplicity of computation, hindi na niya na-discount dito. Okay. So, losses on purchase commitment is recognized only for guaranteed future purchases. So, in this case, ano yung obligating event natin? Ang obligating event natin is yung signing of 3-year purchase contract. Okay, not the contract and not this actual purchase anymore, but this one. Kasi may agreement ka na mag-purchase of ng 15,000 units at annually at minimum. So, yun yung obligating contract, obligating event natin, yung purchase contract. Okay, on December 31, 2021, if there is 10,000 units on hand on December 31, 2021, then you have to test it for impairment losses as well. Since those inventories are deemed to be obsolete, so kailangan mo siyang i-record below its at lower of cost and net realizable value. So in this case, cost is 10,000 times 25. So that is 250,000. If I think, tama ba? 250,000. 10 times 25, yes, 250,000. And as per example, 5 pesos na lang siya. Ito na lang yung may recover mo sa kanya, which is yung scrap value niya, 5 pesos. So meaning, you have a loss of 20 pesos per item. So 20 pesos times 10,000 units is 10,000 times 50,000. Yes. So you have to reverse yung inventory by 200,000 so that you can record the inventory at the lower of cost over net realizable value. Okay. So ito yung entry niya. Question. Okay, if wala, let us continue. Onerous contract of lease. So ABC company entered into a non-cancelable 10-year operating lease. Annual lease payment is 100,000. At inception of lease, ABC paid 200,000 deposit to the lessor to be applied to the last 2 years of the lease. In addition, ABC guarantees 10% residual value of the leased property. On December 31, 2021, ABC cancels the lease when the remaining lease term is 6 years. ABC is obligated to pay the rentals for the remaining term of the lease, but is uncertain as to whether it will be held liable for the guarantee on the residual value. So, to compute for that, ito pa yung natitirang lease term niya, di ba? Which is required na siya magbayad ng 100,000 annual lease because they enter into a non-cancelable 10-year operating lease, which is ito yung obligating event natin for the next 10 years. Okay? So, deposits applied to last 2 years of lease, which is 200,000 as mentioned naman dito. So, the estimated liability on lease cancellation is 400,000. So, yun lang ang kailangan natin consider. Okay, so in the first place, hindi naman magkakaroon ng estimated liability if you have not cancel or cancel mo yung non-cancelable lease. So, sana kung may intention siya na i-cancel, hindi na siya pumasok in a non-cancelable lease in the first place, di ba? But it happened based on the example. So, ito siya, 400,000 on cancellation of non-cancelable lease. Okay, so question. Okay, so if wala, let's go to the next one, restructuring. So restructuring is a program that is planned and controlled by management and materially changes either the scope of the business undertaken by entity or the manner in which the business is conducted. Okay, so examples, sale or termination of line of business. So yun nga, ibebenta mo yung segment mo or ita-terminate mo na talaga. Kuklose mo na yung segment na yun. Letter B, closure of business locations. So in a country or region or the relocation of business activities from one country to or region to another. So kung maglilipat ka or isasara mo yung business location mo sa isang lugar na yun. Change in management structure, for example, eliminating a layer of management whenever they deem it to be redundant. Okay, so may mga layoffs due to redundancy. If familiar kayo, may mga ganon. So that is very usual pagdating sa mga tech companies. Layoff due to redundancy. Okay? Letter D, fundamental reorganization that have a material effect on the nature and focus of the entity's operation. Okay, so yung restructuring na to, it mainly focuses on the costs that will be incurred considering yung company's restructure and reorganization. Okay, so ano ba yung mga included sa mga to? Ito nga yun. And ang exception dito is yung cost na ma-incur mo, which is included sa company's going concern policy or going concern assumption. So anything going concern is not part of restructuring costs. So lahat lang ng included sa discontinued operations, yun lang yung magiging part ng restructuring cost natin. Okay, so let's see some examples. So sale of operations, we already defined naman na to. Anyway, so a legal obligation exists and therefore provision is recognized only if at the end of the reporting period, binding sale agreement is obtained. Okay, so before we record provision, so we should have first yung binding sale agreement. Kasi anytime pwedeng mag-back out si purchaser under his terms. So kung hindi sila magkasundo and all you have is memorandum of agreement, MOA, and that is not as good as binding sale agreement kasi or deed of sale. So in that case, hindi ka pa pwedeng mag-record ng provision. So this is because until a binding sale agreement is obtained, the entity can still change its mind and may withdraw its plan to sell if it cannot find a purchaser under acceptable terms. Pwede pang magbago yung isip niya. If the binding sale agreement is obtained only after the end of the reporting period, no provision is recognized because no present obligation exists at the end of the reporting period. So that is only after. But if during the reporting period is nagkaroon na ng binding sale agreement, then you can recognize the provision. Okay? Question. Okay, wala. Let's continue. Closure or reorganization. So, a constructive obligation exists only if, after the reporting period, the entity has created a valid expectation from others that it will discharge certain responsibilities. This will be case if, at the end of the reporting period, both of the following conditions are met. A detailed formal plan for the restructuring is already adopted, and letter B, the plan is announced to those affected by it. Okay, so ang kailangan naman natin dito, sa sale of operation, ito yung kailangan natin sa sale of operation, binding sale agreement. For closure or reorganization naman, detailed formal plan and restructuring, ito yung kailangan natin. If this is already approved by the board of directors, then closure and reorganization is executory. Wala na tayong ibang magagawa doon kundi i-execute yun. It's just a matter of when and how. Okay? And of course, notified ka. Dapat alam mo na apektado ka nun. Nasabi mo lahat sa lahat ng mga stakeholders na magko-close and or magre-reorganize si company. Okay? Question. Okay, wala. Then let's continue. A mere board decision to restructure is not enough. No provision is recognized if no provision is recognized if detailed plan is adopted or announced after the end of the reporting period. So this may also be disclosed as a non-adjusting event after the reporting period. So you can disclose it as non-adjusting event if the adoption of the plan is happened at after the end of the reporting period. So that is January 1 and so on. But if it happened December 31st, so within the reporting period, then this is an adjusting event. Okay. Measurement of restructuring provision. A restructuring provision includes only the direct costs that are necessary entailed with restructuring. It does not include costs that are related to the ongoing activities of the entity or the future conduct of its business. Okay, so as we have mentioned earlier, restructuring cost or restructuring provision should only focus dun sa discontinued segment, okay, or dun sa redundant segment. But if the cost is related sa ongoing activities of the entity, it is not included. Okay? A restructuring provision exclude the following costs. So letter A is retraining or relocating continuing staff. So since it is included or related sa ongoing activities ng company. Letter B, marketing. Letter C, investment in new systems and distribution networks. Okay, basta if the cost has an intention to improve or to prolong the company's activities, then it is not included. Okay? So, restructuring provisions are recognized as follows. So, if meron ng binding agreement on or before, if after, disclosure lang siya. Pero yung adjustments will be made on the next year. If binding sale agreement is obtained only after the end of reporting period, no provision is recognized, only disclosure. Okay, next. Closure or reorganization. Okay, dapat may detailed formal plan and dapat announce siya publicly on or before the end of the reporting period. If not, only disclosure is required. Okay. Letter C, restructuring provisions on acquisition. So merger. So accrue provision for terminating employees. So, included siya sa restructuring kasi nga, it includes those employees affected by the merger or the acquisition. So, yung mga mata-terminate, yung mga maka-close ng facilities, and yung may eliminate the product lines. Only if announced at acquisition, and then only if a detailed formal plan is adopted within a short time period after the acquisition. So example is 3 months. But usually, if there is an acquisition, hindi na tumatagal ng 3 months yung ano yan, yung the formal plan. Even before pa i-announce yung acquisition, there is already a formal plan. So this is already uh, ano na, estimated na if how much would be the cost, how many people will be terminated, which is most of the cases ina-absorb din naman ng bagong company. At usually, ito lang yung nangyayari talaga. Nag-eliminate sila ng product line which is deemed to be unprofitable or hindi na siya market viable. Okay? Letter D, future operating losses. Provisions are not recognized for future operating losses even in a restructuring. Okay, so why? Kasi this is not already incurred and therefore no obligating event and then no recognition of provision. Okay, so example, as of December 31, 2021, ABC company has adopted a detailed formal plan. Okay, ito na yung requirement natin, lumabas na. One of its toys division and put up a new division to manufacture warfare weapons. Baka so siguro yung pinamanufacture nila dito, mga ano lang, pellet guns. But this time, warfare guns na talaga. Okay, joke lang. So the plan was communicated through a public announcement and all of those affected by the closure were informed. Okay, so informed na rin sila. So ito na yung, complete na yung requirement natin sa restructuring provision. ABC estimates the following costs in relation to the closure of the division. So termination benefits of employees terminated as a result of the closure included. Cost of retraining and relocating retained employees excluded. Kasi this is the cost for the employees continuing to work for the company. Okay, and payment for unpaid purchases made by the division. So this should be included. Okay. Okay, so new systems and distribution for the weapons division. So this is 20 million, hindi na siya kasama. Kasi ang ite-terminate is yung toys. So yung warfare divisions, bagong segment siya. So hindi siya kasama. This is going concern. Market cost for the weapons, again, hindi pa din. Marketing yan. And expected losses during the first year of operation of the weapons division, hindi din. So dapat ang kasama lang dito is yung employee benefits. Uy, hindi rin pala kasama yun. Wait lang. Hindi rin kasama yung 4 million for unpaid purchases o teka lang, made by the division. Hindi kasi sinabi ko ano division. So I think if the division who purchases it is yung toys division, dapat kasama siya. But if the division who made the purchase is the warfare division, warfare weapons division, dapat hindi na siya kasama. But hindi siya mentioned dito. So tingnan natin sa notes. Liability for unpaid purchases is not a provision because it's amount, yes. Actually, liability pala talaga siya. Such liability is recognized as accounts payable or accrued payable. So, medyo na-trick tayo dun. So, hindi siya provision. Liability siya. But it should be considered. Okay? Na-trick tayo dun. Okay. So, letter A, restructuring provision does not include retraining or relocating continuing staff, marketing, or investment in new systems and distribution network. Okay, so everything or all cost na included dun sa magiging new segment or new division no company na to is not considered to be restructuring cost. Okay? So, restructuring costs are costs that mai-incur mo because of that restructuring. So, anything na related sa mga kailangan mong baguhin or kailangan mong alisin, especially yung business segments, yung product lines, yung employees, yun yung mga included sa restructuring cost. But if it is pertaining naman dun sa new division or new segment na ipapalit mo dun sa the one being restructured, then it is not part of that. Okay? So, next are examples of application of the recognition principles. So, I think wrap up na lang to. Ano ba? Okay, tama. Wrap up na lang siya, tama. Okay, so itong mga to, pwede nyo naman siyang basahin na lang kasi examples lang siya ng mga discuss natin for this day. So, may mga sagot naman sa baba. So, babasahin nyo na lang siya. Okay? And then, we will proceed sa product warranties and guarantees. Okay? So, warranties. So, ito yung sample natin kanina about doon sa warranties or repairs. So, ito yun. It is the cost of discharging the liability is judged to be significant. So, a provision should be made in order not to understate liabilities and expenses and overstate the profit. So, however, if the cost of discharging the liability is judged to be negligible, so masyadong maliit, again, sabi nga natin earlier, if the provision deemed to be immaterial, so pwede mo na lang siyang hayaan. But if the amount is will have an impact sa financial statement ng company, then you have to record it. Okay? So, PAS 37.24 provides the following guidance where there are a number of similar obligations. So, the probability that an outflow will be required in settlement is determined by considering the class of obligation as a whole. Although the likelihood of outflow for any one item may be small, it may be probably that some outflow of resources will be needed to settle the class of obligation as a whole. That is the case, a provision is recognized if the other recognition criteria are met. Okay? Okay. So, question regarding dito? Okay. So, ang gusto lang yung sabihin dito, you want to assess yung probability of outflow of asset at class of obligation as a whole. Okay? So, you don't have to check it isa-isa. Okay, so next. Applicable standards. So, PAS 37 versus BFRS 15. So, BFRS 15A pertains to revenue from contracts with customers. And PAS 37 is contingent liabilities. Ito yung topic natin. Okay. If a customer has the option to purchase a warranty separately, the warranty is accounted for in accordance with BFRS 15, revenue from contracts with customers. But if a customer does not have the option to purchase a warranty separately, the warranty is accounted for in accordance with PAS 37. But usually naman yung mga nabibiling items ngayon, it is already included na sa item na binili mo. May warranty na siya. Hindi mo na siya kailangan idagdag. So, majority of the warranties are treated in past 37. Okay. Illustration 1, warranty expense. So, ito lang yung example na ginawa natin kanina. ABC company provides 3-year warranty for the products it sells. ABC estimates that warranty cost is 100 per unit sold. As of January 1, 2021, the liability for warranty has a balance of 200,000. So, ito yung beginning balance niya. Okay? For the units sold in 2020. During the year, ABC sold 5,000 units and actual warranty cost incurred were 310,000. So how much is the warranty expense to be recognized in 2021? And number 2, how much is the balance of the warranty obligation as of December 31, 2021? So first of all, kailangan natin computein how much is the expense recognized for this year's sale and how much is the actual cost or how much is the actual cost paid to discharge the company to its liability. So, yun lang yung dalawa natin kailangan computein. So, the first one will be answered dito. How much is the unit sold and how much is the estimated warranty cost. So, 500,000. Ito yung warranty expense for the year. But remember, we have 200,000 already. So, meaning, the total would be 700,000, di ba? Ito na yung magiging total nila, 500 and 200. But remember, you have already made warranty costs to discharge the company amounting to 310,000. So, you have to deduct it to the liability. So, ito na lang yung liability niya at year-end. So, that is by adding the beginning and the expenses recognized for this year less the discharge, okay, which is 310,000. So, ito na lang yung liability as of year-end. Okay. So, question. Okay, if none, let's continue. Warranty liability. So, sa example na to, ang required niya is how much is the balance of the warranty obligation on December 31, 2022, assuming those pertaining to 2021 sales have not yet expired as of December 2022 year end. Okay. So, wala raw expiration yung 2021 na. So, maka-carry over lang natin yun. So, ABC provides 2-year warranty product for sold. Estimated cost of warranty is 2% in the year of sale and 4% after the year of sale. So, meaning 2% this year and 4% next year. Ano siya? So, the computation should be here. Okay. May beginning balance ba? Walang beginning balance. So, for January 1, 2021, na sale, 10 million plus times 6%, which is, ito yung 4 plus 2. Okay? 4 plus 2 siya. 4% for last year and 2% for the year of sale. Warranty expense for 2022 is same as well. 6% multiplied by 12 million sale for the year. And the estimated warranty liability is 420,000 lang after deducting yung mga actual warranty costs paid, which is given naman dito. Okay? So, ganun lang siya. Any question? So, medyo magkakagulo lang siya if the problem says that the sales are made evenly throughout the year. So, medyo magulo yung computation niya. If I were you, I will check yung version ni Balix. Kasi doon, binigay niya yung computation on how to compute yung evenly. Though, ang gusto lang naman niyang highlight doon is that some purchases are made on June. So, meaning, yung 1 year niya will go from June 2022 to June 2023. So, you have to accrue dun sa portion ng sale of June 2022, half year lang. Okay? Half year lang nung estimated liability mo compared dun sa sale nung January 1. So, parang ano lang, mag-overlap yung warranty period. Okay? Medyo nakakalito siya, pero if nag-gets niyo yung idea, madali na siya. Okay? So, next is liability for premiums. Premium refer to goods, services, cash price, or special rebates which are included in the main product or services being offered. Premiums are intended to promote sales. Common examples of premiums include goods such as t-shirt, caps, or anything na may matatanggap nyo for free for just consuming their product. Letter B is free services for consumption of their product as well. And letter C, cash prize found to back up the battleground or entitlement on an entry to raffle draw. So ito, usually sa mga Coke, di ba? And ito naman, sa mga groceries, if you purchase a minimum of this amount, then you will earn our entry to a raffle draw. So, ganun siya. And they recognize liability for each of that. Okay, so customers may be entitled to such premium for past purchases by presenting proof of purchase. So, receipts, ito yung mga sample niya, box wrappers, battle crowns, and coupons. Okay. So, applicable standard. So, the applicable standard here is PAS 15. Okay. The customer option to acquire additional goods or services for free at a discount is accounted for at PFRS 15 if the option provides the customer a material right that customer would not receive without entering into that contract. Okay, so this is under PAS 15. And a customer options that does not provide the customer with a material right is not accounted for under PFRS 15 and therefore accounted for in accordance with PAS 37. So on our example, this will apply. Okay. Okay. Okay, this one. For our first example, so ABC company launch a sales promotion for 2021. So for every 10 empty packs returned to ABC plus 50 pesos. So this is accounted for dito kay PFRS 15. If you will acquire yung right para makapag-receive nung premiums, if kailangan mo magbayad ng additional for the premiums, then it should be entitled to PFRS 15. But if bumili ka and you have already entitled dun sa coupons or whatever they call it without adding any price, or it does not provide the customer with a material right, is not accounted for under PFRS 15, and therefore it is part of PAS 37. Sorry. So if ganito na lang, if the customer will need to pay for it or to give something actively, then it is part of PFRS 15. But if the customer will have it passively, then it is part of PAS 37. Okay? Okay. Okay, for a while. Okay. So let's see an example. So ABC company launched a sales promotion in 2021. So for every 10 empty packs returned to ABC plus 50 pesos, customer will receive a set of kitchen knives. ABC estimates that 40% of the packs sold will be redeemed. So information on the transaction during the year is as follows. So ito yung mga examples niya. Yung givens. Requirement, compute for the premium expense in 2021. So, una natin gagawin is, okay, premium expense. Ito yung amount na nagastos mo para may bili ng premium. Okay? So, unang-una natin gagawin is compute for the amount or the sales in units and multiply it by the amount that is expected to be redeemed, which is 40%. Okay, so ito yung estimated na quantity ng wrappers na ipe-present for redemption. Okay, so remember you have made a sale of 500,000 wrappers. So, 200,000 wrappers lang yung ina-expect mo na mag-join sa promo na yan. And all of these wrappers, for you to be able to be part of that sales promotion, you need 10 wrappers. So you're expecting a 20,000 quantities of premium na mai-redeem on your end. Okay? So, because in total na 200,000 wrappers, everyone needs 10 of them para makapag-redeem. So, there is a maximum of 20,000 premiums based on the current estimates na madi-distribute. Okay? So, you have to multiply it by the net cost of premium. Okay? So, what is net cost? Net cost is the cost na ibibili mo, which is 200,000, less dun sa 50 pesos. Okay, na ibibigay ni customer upon entering no or upon redemption ng product. Okay, so that is technically binili siya ni customer at 50 pesos plus yung 10 wrappers nila. So ito lang yung magiging expense talaga niya, yung 150 lang. Okay? So 150 times 20,000. So this is the premium expense. And therefore, this is the liability that the entity should recognize as a provision. Okay? So question regarding dito. Okay? If wala, then these are the entries. So, cash sales, premiums and cash, gano'n lang siya. Okay? So, premium expense and estimated liability for premiums. So, this will change depende sa estimate on the next year naman. So, this is to record the redemption during the year. Debit cash, considering 45,000 packs. No, ilan ba yung redeem? Yes, 45,000. So, considering 45,000 yung so this is equal to 4,500 lang. Sorry, 4,500 na premiums. Okay, so meaning there is a 4,500 premiums yung nakalagay ba rito yun? Ito pala. Nakalagay pala. 45,000 packs redeem. So meaning 4,500 premiums. So that is 4,500 multiplied by 50. So that is 225,000. And premiums, ito yung cost naman. So 45,000 packs divided by 10. So that is 4,500 times yung purchase price. Okay, so hindi na natin i-deduct dito yung premiums kasi nandito na siya. Ito na yung amount na na-receive mo in cash. So this should offset dun sa cash na ilabas mo on purchasing these premiums. Okay? And 675,000 debit as a deduction dun sa estimated liability for premiums. That is computed by multiplying yung 45,000 packs dun sa net cost of the premium. Okay? So, question regarding dito. So, if we are, kapag ang tanong is, what is the premium expense? Dapat magbe-base ka sa cost of premium. Net cost, sorry. Magbe-base ka sa net cost. So, pag tinanong ko naman is, what is the cash outflow in relation sa premium expense? Kano yung cash outflow niya in relation to this premium expense? Then the answer should be, ito din, 150 din. Okay? Because the net cost of premium is 150 and the net cash outflow is also 150, di ba? So you have the same basis of recognition of expenses and recognition of the liability or the provision for premiums. Okay, so question. Baka kasi pag ang tinanong is, how much is the net cash outflow in relation dun sa purchase of premium? Baka ito yung sagot nyo, which is wrong. Ito dapat 900 less 225. Kasi hindi naman sila makakapag-receive ng premiums if hindi sila magbibigay ng 50 pesos, di ba? So, net cash outflow is equal dun sa basis natin ng premium, which is yung 150. Okay, question. Okay, wala din, tuloy tayo. Illustration number 2, premium liability. ABC company launched a sales promotion in 2021 that for every 5 bottles returned to ABC, customer will receive a t-shirt. The unit cost of t-shirt is 100. So in this case, wala kang kailangan ibigay on return. So this one should be part of past 37. Yung una example natin is past 50. Past 50. PFRS 15, sorry. Okay. Why? Kasi, again, you can only be part of it by paying 50 pesos. So, you have to shell out another 50 pesos. Unlike dito, sa illustration natin na to, you are already entitled na. Nasa iyo na lang yan kung i-redeem mo or hindi. Since wala namang additional cost na nire-require si entity para mai-redeem mo yung premium nila. Okay. So for every 5 bottles returned to ABC, customer will receive a t-shirt. The unit cost of t-shirt is 100 pesos. ABC estimates that 80% of sales will be redeemed. So additional information is as follows. So ito yung sale niya for first year. Ito yung second year. Ito yung distributed in 2021 and this is for 2022. So the question is, how much is the liability for premiums as of December 31, 2022? Okay, so to compute for that, first of all, 80% is their estimate na magre-redeem out of their total sale of this quantity. Okay, so to recognize the premium expense for 2021, you have to check for 500,000 times 80% divided by 5. So 5 is yun yung required na bottles na ibalik mo para makapag-redeem ka ng t-shirt. Multiply by 100 pesos, which is ito naman yung purchase price ng t-shirt. Okay. So this is 8 million and 14.4 million for 2022. So ito naman yung actual cost na na-redeem, which is, I think, given dito. Yes, 60,000 times 100 and 147,600 times 100. So ito yan. So we just add it. 22,400 less 27,60. Then ito yung liability as of December 31, 2022. Okay, so notice that the premium expense are computed based on the gross purchase cost of the premium, which is 100, because there is no cash requirement from redeeming customers. Again, premium premium expenses are unaffected by the actual premium distribution. So tama. Hindi makakaapekto yung amount na magagastos mo dun sa premium, dun sa actual distribution. Okay? Magkaiba yon. Ang maaapektuhan ng premium expenses is yung actual cash outflow mo. So, mababago yan. Kung ang ibinili mo nung um, premiums is amounting to 6 million, 8 million, and wala kang matatanggap na cash on return, then this is the net cash outflow. But if the same with the previous example, makakatanggap ka ng 50 pesos for each premium, then your net cash outflow will definitely below 8 million. So, i-deduct mo yung cash requirement mo upon redemption. Okay, so ganun lang siya. So again, if the question is premium, it is almost the same with the cash outflow. Okay. So guarantee for indebtedness of others. So ito naman, kapag nag-guarantor ka, so technically kapag hindi na nagbabayad yung may utang, then that is the time that you would be liable, di ba? So basahin natin. Guarantee for indebtedness of others. So there are instances where an entity guarantees the indebtedness of another entity. So like a co-maker of a loan. The guarantor does not recognize any liability when the guarantee is made. So walang liability at the time kasi wala pa naman default on the part of the one who loaned. However, when it becomes probable, so at least 51%, that the guarantor will be held liable for the guarantee, such as when the original debtor defaults on the loan, a provision is recognized for the estimated amount that the guarantor will be held liable for guarantee. So at the same time naman, kailangan mo mag-recognize dito ng reimbursement from the one who loaned. Diba? So dito papasok yung reimbursement. And it depends on your coordination with them, on how many percent or what is the probability that mare-reimburse niya yung amount ibabayad mo kay bank or sa the one na may utang sila, which is the creditor. Okay. And reimbursement should not exceed the amount of provision. So yung provision na to should be limited lang dun sa amount. Yung reimbursement should be limited dun sa amount ng provision. Okay? So question regarding dito. Okay, so if wala, then let's continue. Illustration, guarantee for indebtedness of others. So on January 1, 2021, ABC Company agreed a loan of 1 million obtained by XYZ. Hindi pala agreed, guaranteed pala, sorry. So nag-guarantee si ABC sa loan ni XYZ wala sa bangko. So on December 31, 2021, XYZ defaulted on his loan. It's become probable that ABC will be held liable to the bank for the amount of 1 million taken by XYZ. So on January 1, 2021, no entry since no default yet. Wala pa na di-default. But on December 31, when the default is already there, so you have to record provision for guarantee. Okay. Question regarding dito. Okay, if wala, then let's continue. No. Chapter 4 summary. No, I think that's it. Ano pala? Tapos na. Okay. So, any more question regarding provisions? Okay, if wala, then okay, sa schedules natin, Our exam would be October 29. Okay? Kasi based sa ating academic calendar, ang exams for college department first semester is 24 to 26. That is for midterm exams. At we will do it on 29. So before mag-Halloween. So on October 15, next week, probably wala ako. So, though hindi pa sure, pero baka wala ako next week. Out of town ako nito. So, update ko na lang din kayo. For October 22, definitely we will have a meeting. Chapter 5. What is chapter 5? Employee benefits, which is yung first part pa lang naman. So, yung next part, I think magiging part na siya ng finals natin. And I will try na makover natin yung buong leases. Okay? So, any more questions? Okay, so if wala na, quiz, bukas, kung ilang items, hindi ko pa sure. Pero i-upload ko siya same time, 9 to 6. Okay? If wala na, magtuto na rin naman. So, thank you for attending our class. And I'm sorry for taking too much of your time. And see you next week. Bye-bye.
Sir, picture po muna.
Sige. Picture. Wait lang